God has not promised me sunshine. That's not the way it's going to be. But I need to rain, mix with God's sunshine, a little pain, makes me appreciate the good times. Yes, it does.
Hey, I hope you are having a great day today. I want to talk to you a little bit about gratitude. You may not know this about me, but I'm a huge skeptic. I'm a huge skeptic, and I'm not easily impressed. And it's not like a brag. I'm just skeptical, usually. And in my experience, I found that the more somebody talks about themselves, like, I'm really good at that, so I can do that, blah, 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 they're trash. Usually they're trash. Or the thing they're supposed to be so great at, they ain't. So, it takes a little something for me to be like, oh my God. When I was a kid, my dad used to listen to this contemporary Christian group called Truth. And when I first moved to Nashville and started singing and recording sessions and working in music full time, Truth had done this record when I was in college that was like a reunion album. And there were a few vocalists on that record that I was just, oh my gosh. Their names were Tiffany Coburn. She is a soprano. Angela Cruz could sing the phone book, but a soprano. She has since passed away. And this guy named Terry White. But I honestly could go on and on and on about a bajillion names. But in particular, when I was in college, Truth had released a record, and these folks were on this record, and they killed. Oh my gosh, they killed. Oh my goodness gracious. And when I initially moved to Nashville and started working full-time in music, I found myself working with them and creating with them. And I was always just mesmerized, like, oh my God, it's them. And then I got to know them as people, and I was just like, oh my Lord. As time has gone on in my whole musical career, I've had the honor of singing for and with some of the most amazing artists, from Celine Dion to, what did I say Dion like that? Dion. Celine Dion to CeCe Winans. And I've recorded background vocals for numerous folks. And every time I did it, or every time I've found myself in that position, I'm just always blown away, because little Lisi grew up like idolizing these folks that I'm singing with. I was the type of kid that would like sing every song on a record about 412 times, every voice part. And I could tell you the soloists, I could tell you the darn sound engineers, I could tell you the names of the musicians. I was just overcome with just reading the entire jewel case, cassette case thing or CD thing, of whose voice I was loving, or who was playing the darn trombone on this one song. Who put that echo on that mic? You know what I'm saying? I was that way. And to end up spending my life in a creative space, in a place where I got to produce vocals in studio, like actually in the vocal production space or arrange background vocals or sing. Um, I I couldn't believe, I never ever could believe that that was my life, that this is my life. Um, so today I just want to publicly thank God for the spaces that He's put me in. And listen, in college, I was in this group called Voices of Lee, and our director is named Danny Murray, and he always would talk about not buying your own advertisement, and that thing stuck. I cannot stand an arrogant person. And what I found is that these singers, all of them, were so far from arrogance. Matter of fact, a lot of times they thought they were horrible, and I'm like, you're blah, blah, blah. Like I would just be speechless around them, and then I would get to know them and all that stuff and create with them, and it was just like, yo, what? How is this my life? Um, I was tempted earlier today because life has done what life does and has taken me in a different direction. And right now, I'm just in a different space than I ever thought that I would be. Um, I was tempted to kind of frump and whatnot, but instead, I found that thinking back on all of like I've sung in every single state several times, except Hawaii. I'm looking at you, Hawaii. Y'all need a minister of some sort. I'm just saying. Several countries, just on several records that I would have never imagined working or being a part of, you know? So I just want to publicly thank the Lord for placing me there. I ain't got nothing else really to say. I'm just grateful. And yes, I'm sometimes tempted to be saddened that my experience is different than the one that I always had, but golly, it's nowhere near over. And I got to be in these spaces and create. I got to do that. I am so grateful. My challenge to you today is to think about the things that you are grateful for. The things that when you were a kid, you would have been like, oh my gosh, that's my life. Because it's very easy to be in your space now and be annoyed or be frustrated or be just all you see is lack or what could be better. Let's take a moment and think about how great it's been at different points. It doesn't stay great. We all know that. But you've experienced some things that little you never would have even imagined. All right. That's all I got. Be grateful. Bye.